If you're new to this channel, I invite you to follow and subscribe to my channel if you like to see more of my content. And if you like my content, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And leave your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. I really truly appreciate everything that you write and share with me. Yeah. Good day to you, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And if this is your first time in this channel, I want to say welcome to my channel. And yeah, so my name is Mecyll and I'm a self-published author, and in today's episode I'd like to share with you what I have shared with my writer warriors community in the last few days. So it's in a form of a newsletter, and the newsletter says about how can you transform inside and out. So in the newsletter, I shared about how I struggled to find the energy, the drive to write a single word. And even though I've written a million words over the last years, over the past few, over the last decade of my writing career, you could say, I've written more than a million words, but I'm still stuck at the thought of being in a what they call the writer's block. And I know that I've written about writer's block a few years ago, and I'll link that below. But for this episode, for the sake of this episode, I'd like to share that even up to this date, I'm still susceptible to what they call the writer's block. And if you're a first-time writer, or if you're a first-time artist, or you're someone who's never been able to explore your creative expression, your self-expression, then we're on the same page. Because right now, I should say that in the last 30 years of my life, I should say that most of my life is ruled by rules. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's like you're a child, you grew up in a very controlled environment, and you don't have any space to even develop your own law. Okay? So as a child, you grow up following someone's rules, abiding, yeah. Abiding from different adults who try to control you, try to manipulate you, try to say don't do this, don't do that. And over the years, then you grow up and you have your teenage rebellion, and you have your young adult situation, and you have your college coming in, university life coming in, and then now you're kinda in a circumstance, in a situation where you have to ask yourself, why do I feel fear so much? The kind of fear that will stop you from doing anything. Okay? So in my case, it's writing. So the more I think about it, it stems from childhood. I grew up in a highly controlled environment where I was always told what to do. I was always told not what to do, what not to do. I mean, I'm so sorry about my speech right now. It's just so much to tell. I mean, there's just so much to say in less time. So anyway, going straight. So in my newsletter, I shared that I grew up in a highly controlled environment, which I detailed in my book, Essentialism in Self-Publishing. And in that book, I shared about how I was highly controlled in such a way that I wasn't able to develop my own set of laws for myself. And I should say that I was as a kid, I wasn't aware of this, but my childhood, my inner child was trying to save me in such situations through fiction. So while the chaos was going on externally, my internal world was so rich. I could develop stories in my head in one sitting. I remember while the chaos was going on externally, like, you know what it, you know, if you grew up in such situations, you could just imagine the abuse and all that. This abuse is a big word, but it's like a general term that umbrella term that I could use for the sake of explanation, for the sake of understanding. Anyway, so because I grew up in such environment, it was hard for me to develop my own set of beliefs, because whatever beliefs that I develop and believe, let's say, it will come across like your maldita, or you're like a bae, which I'm not, you know, like it's like you're not being a bee, you're just protecting yourself, you're in self-preservation. So as a Scorpio moon, it's like my own coping mechanism to survive. So my self-preservation mode was in a form of fiction. So no wonder as an adult, it's easy for me to just write stories, short stories, novels, novellas, and all that. But in the last few days, I was stuck in a situation where, I know I said a lot of situation, bear with me please. So anyway, so in the newsletter I shared that I was struggling with writer's block, and I wonder why, because I've written a lot of words, you know, like I remember I was like, writer's block was a frequent for me when I wrote business, and I was writing articles for entrepreneurs and all. I was stuck with writer's block all the time. But now I'm looking back, I can understand why my old self, was often stuck in a rut. Because although she's living the life of a writer, which is like her childhood dream, she was in a wrong classroom. And because she was in a wrong classroom, wrong section, she wasn't able to fit in to the community where she supposed to belong. And because of that, now that I'm writing fiction and I'm supposed to love what I'm doing, I'm stuck with this. And like, it took days for me to really just you call that battle. It's like a continuous battle with self. And just so you know, like, I've been doing the shadow work in the last 3 years to be exact, and although in those years I've seen a lot of progression in terms of how I deal with writer's block, how I deal with anxiety, how I deal with the negative stuff that's coming to me. Okay, back then I was like, as soon as I have this, it will take me weeks to even recover. It will take me a month to even find that spark again, because it was just writer's block, pure black and white. Writer's block, I'm blocked for the rest of the week, I'm blocked for the rest of the month. But now it's like, it's a fleeting feeling. It's like, it's a weird thing, because just because I was able to release that through journaling for years and really sitting down with myself against it. Sorry, I hit my headphone. Actually, anyway, so lots of where was I? Because I was able to sit down with it with like honesty and non-judgment and compassion, instead of just criticizing myself for being so bad back then. No, it was like, right now I was able to forgive myself for being a bee. I was able to forgive myself for being in a rut. I was able to forgive myself for being a slack off, and really respecting my Mars and Cancer, really respecting my yang and yin playing out in the same time, and allowing myself, present self, to forgive the past selves who seem to, like, I believe that my past selves have decided things according to what's best for them at that time. I just want to see it that way, and for my future self, for my present self, to reconcile with the future self who's out there waiting for me. It is my job as as the present self, in my present self, to acknowledge the three forces playing at the same time. And part of it is being able to sit down with my writer's block and allow myself to just feel then comfortable. Why? Because my past self, imagine my past self, I was just so high and addicted to work, addicted to vices, addicted to substances, believing that these substances are like supplements that will fuel her drive to keep going. Because there was no other source of spark, inspiration, love, attention, compassion, except doing this because I just like to forget. I just like to forget that this is going on. I just like to forget that this is my situation. But my present self doesn't want to deal with that in a way where it's negative. Okay, my present self wants to sit down with it in a way where compassion leads, love leads the way, not the other way around. And the reason why I share this episode with you, because I believe that even if you are a professional in whatever field you are in, there will be times that you will be low. There will be times that you have less inspiration. There will be times that you will not be so up and up in the cloud nine, There will be times that you will be sad. There will be times that you will be pausing, relaxing, even to the point of nonsensical relaxation, because everyone is working hard while you're in a cubicle just sitting down and chilling and you don't understand what you're doing. So I don't want you to feel bad because of it. I don't want you to feel bad that your body, your soul, your heart is telling you to chill. And that's the same thing that I'm telling myself right now. Like, it's okay if you don't feel like you don't have to do anything. If you feel like you're not in the mood to do something, you don't have to feel guilty because of it. And it's like I also have to reconcile that my past self has to deal with a lot of childhood programming, toxic childhood programming, that me, my present self, my adult me, has to break away from. It will be a hard thing, it will not be an easy thing for me, but I also recognize that my future self will always be compassionate and loving when dealing with these things. The past will always be haunting. The past will always be taunting us if we, the present self, don't know how to handle it, don't want to acknowledge it. If we continue to just shrug it off and bury it in the depths of our consciousness, then we will have problems with it. And that's the thing that I don't want to deal with as like for my future self. I don't want my future self to be dealing with the same shit. I don't want my future self to be dealing with the same thing over and over again, like an endless, unending cycles. That's why in my newsletter I also shared that our shadows, the shadows that we often ignore and shrug off, hold the answers that we're looking for. But because they are our shadows, just like the shadows of jealousy, envy, slacking off, the past, the gunky, sticky stuff that we want to just bury in the depths of our consciousness, they actually hold the answers that you're looking for. And if you choose to live in denial, then these demons, what we call the inner demons, will continually eat us each day. And just like my struggle with writer's block, even though I've written more than 1 million words, I'm still susceptible to this situation where I will not be able to write a thing in a day or in a week or in a month. But in that case, I don't have to berate myself. This is a lesson, a hard pill to swallow, especially for those people like me who grew up in a highly controlled environment. And it's okay to feel like that. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So if you're the person, if this is you, the first thing you need to do is to acknowledge. Just acknowledge. That's already the big first step that you can do for yourself. Acknowledge, don't deny it. Don't deny your past, don't deny what happened to you, and don't deny the future that you deserve. Just be present and and acknowledge. If you have a journal with you, you can open your journal, get your journal, and write it down. Write everything that you feel by just following the simple formula. Look around and look within. When you look around what's going externally. Is there actual abuse going on? Is there actual confrontation going on? And whatever you observe from your senses, okay, from your 5 senses. Use your 6 senses, including your 6th sense. And so look within. How do you feel? What did this situation make you feel? Or what this person make you feel? Something like that. And so if this message resonates with you, I hope that this helps you with your own shadow work journey. And if you're hurting right now, it's time to let this go for the brighter future that you deserve. And this is what I wish for you as a friend. And I love you so much, and I care for you so much that I'm willing to share my life with you. So this is it for this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Tschüss!